How's it going, YouTube? Navy Sooner here. Today, it's time for some DMR action. Yes, in 5.56. This rifle is my take on a 5.56 DMR. Yes, I understand 5.56 and DMR, some of y'all get all butthurt about. As well, this isn't a 20-inch barrel or 18-inch barrel. This is a 16-inch barrel. And some of y'all would probably want to lose your crap about that too. But I mean, I don't, because it does what I want it to do, and it does exactly what I need it to do for the intended purpose of it being a DMR. So just to go over what the components are, I am using an Aero Precision upper and lower set. They are in FDE. And I mean, some of those fat folks out there that want to say that Aero Precision is cheap, I mean, okay, whatever. They work. Go ahead. Talk trash about Aero Precision, but I like their receivers, especially for the price. And I've got Cerakoted FDE receivers that look good for a reasonable price. The rail that I'm using is a Daniel Defense Riz 2 rail. I did it before Marty Daniel, I think that's his name. Yeah, Marty Daniel said all the crap that he said. Whether Daniel Defense is anti-gun or hates Americans, that's yet to be seen. Well, they're shilling to the government so that they don't lose their contracts. Reason I chose this rail is because it's very sturdy. If I ever wanted to put a laser on here, it will hold zero just fine. Or if I wanted to put like a night vision clip-on up front or mount it to this, I'd be just fine. They are good rails, but they're very, very heavy. But I don't care about weight in this project, in this build that I did. And yes, I said build, so screw off. The barrel that I'm using is a 16-inch Recon barrel from Noveske. This is the most expensive barrel I've purchased for an AR-15. I wanted to see if price netted something better than what I've been paying for stuff in the past for. Yes, I have some nice barrels out there. Yeah, I do. But I just really wanted to see how Noveske's really stood out. I had the guys at Fun Guns talking to me. Yeah, Fun Guns in Waco, Texas. Go check them out if you're in the Waco area. They were talking to me about their Noveskes and how accurate they were, and I really wanted to try one out. And I mean, yeah, and I'll talk about how accurate they were in the future and how well it did out to distance. It is made out of 416 stainless steel, and it's got a 1-in-7 twist. I wanted the 1-in-7 twist to be able to stabilize like the heavier bullets, as well as maybe some 68, 69 grain bullets if I really wanted to. The scope that I'm using on here is an Arken Optics SH4 Gen 2. It's a 4-16 scope, and I wanted to have a little bit of distance, but not like too much like the 5 power up and up. 5-24, I think. And I can see things great 5 to 1,000 yards where I really want this gun to shine. And another reason that I like it is because it's actually got illumination on the scope itself. So that's pretty nice. The newer generations of the Arkens have them, and I mean, it's nice having that whenever you need it. As well, the dot in the center is very, very small and very, very precise, especially when you get up to 16. For what I wanted a scope on this gun, this does a great job, even though it's actually kind of a budget scope. The glass is great, and it just does everything that I want it to. So I've actually been testing this gun out for a while now. Between classes, if I had like a day off, I'd go out and shoot it. I don't have much time really, but I've been testing this for a long while. Like I said, I purchased the barrel at Fun Guns in Waco for full price. They didn't give me any discounts. However, they did give me a little bit of ammo to test out with this barrel, which was nice. It was about 200 rounds that they gave me of various different loads and rounds and everything. And I did a lot of testing for distance as well as groups and stuff like that. The the 4 best rounds that I found that worked with this gun were these Frontier 75 grain Botel hollow points, which a lot of people were surprised, even the guys who are fun guns. And these actually worked very well out to distance, up close, when I was doing my 100-yard groupings. So, I mean, it's great that you can find kind of a lower priced ammo to use for a gun, especially how much ammo is. These match 75 grain from Hornady match 75 grain 223s. They worked great, worked really well as well, which is kind of awkward because I've actually had a hard time with those Hornady match rounds in other firearms. So it's nice that I have actually quite a few of those and they're actually working in this gun. Next, that worked really well are these Fiocchis. They're 77 grain Match King hollow point bow tails, and this is a 223 loading. I mean, that bullet is a great bullet. Military uses it, and I had good time with that. And then finally, these 223 Remington by Sig Sauer was actually very, very good. There's 77 grains as well. The 5.56 Sig Sauer rounds that I used in it, those actually were every group that I shot with that was like 1.5 inches around there. Every single one of these consistently shot sub MOA for me. And I really liked them, and especially out to distance, they worked great. These Nosler 77 grain Botel hollow points 223. They say that they're match grade. No, I mean, they're expensive, really expensive, probably because of the name, but they were like 2.5 inch groups. I could get down to like 1.5 inch, 1 3/4 inch groups, which, I mean, nothing to scoff at, but I mean, for a precision AR that I want the very smallest groups that I can get, and this just wasn't cutting it. Why did I build this AR? I built it strictly for accuracy. It's heavy, so I'm not going to be carrying it in anywhere unless it's in like a backpack or a case. And I'm not talking about like folded up in a backpack. I'm talking about one that I have like lashing. It's a part, like there is a way to carry a rifle on purpose in a backpack and or in its case, and then I take it out when I get to where I want to. I'd be carrying something else to get in and out of my position, and this is just what I'd use for long distance. I really wanted to be able to reach out between 500 and 1,000 yards, which I was able to very, very well. I was mostly good at 500 to 700 yards, and then I could get out to 1,000. I needed spotters to be able to get out a little bit further, but I mean, that's just the nature of the beast in 5.56 223 rounds. Plus, I'm not a professional marksman or shooter or sniper or whatever, so I really want to take a long distance class to be able to really hone in on my long distance shooting abilities. With my 6.5 Creedmoor, I'm able to get out to very, very long distances. And I also have a bigger scope, and I don't have problems with the 6.5 Creedmoor. However, that's not what I want. I wanted to be able to use the rounds that I have in my ARs, which is mostly 5.56. Yes, I have a 300 blackout upper that I use as well, but I wanted it to be able to shoot 5.56, mostly 75, 77 grains, and that way ammo is more compatible between whatever systems that I use. And 100 to 400 yards was easy, like easy, like very precise, and it like small groups out to 400 yards. So no problem with that whatsoever. This thing is super precise from the shorter distances, and it can get out to the longer distances very, very easily. Now, some people are going to go and scoff at like 5.56 223 out to those distances, but what I say to them is, why don't you go out to 8 to 1,000 yards and just see how it feels to have a 77 grain coming at you. I wonder what you think how it would feel if that happened. So like most of the people that like comment about that usually play video games all day long, and by the time that the day's over, they've jerked off enough to where they're not shooting anything out. So I'm not really worried about those guys. I mean, just change your cum rags out, guys. It's just kind of gross whenever, yeah, it's just gross. Now, I do want to test out other barrels like Criterion. I really want to test out a Lil J barrel, but I mean, trying to find one of those in stock or within a certain price range is really hard. The Lil J's, the Criterions you can find real easily. And then I'm thinking about trying a Triarch, a longer Triarch. I have a 12.5-inch Triarch barrel, and yeah, but I still want to test out other barrels to do comparisons for distances, and I want to stay like 16-inch range. If I do 18 or 20-inch, that's fine too, but I mean, this 16-inch barrel was able to do it no problem whatsoever. Then I also am about to get a reloading setup, and I'm going to work up a load to make this like even more precise than it already is, which I mean, that'll be fun. Well, anyways, you've made it this far into my program, and I would like to let you know that this is a very expensive channel to do because of the firearms, and someone complained about it. Why should anybody donate because of your hobby? Yeah, it is a hobby, but it's also informative, and I'm trying to get information out there to you. So if you would like to donate, you can find me over at PayPal. My email to use at PayPal is navysoonerchannel@gmail.com. That way you can send money to donate to the channel. As well, navysoonerchannel@gmail.com is a way to contact me if you have any questions, or another way to contact me is Navy Sooner Channel over on Instagram. So yeah. So, well, that's it for this gun. It does exactly what I want it to. It's great out to distances. It's fairly expensive. Maybe not for some of y'all that don't have a family or whatever, or going through a doctorate program like me, but I really like it. And yeah, so Navy Sooner out.